All right, Kwab. Warriors beat the Grizzlies last night. That means the Warriors are the 7 seed. They're going to go up against the 2 seed, the Houston Rockets. Let's go over it, man. Let's go over it. We're going to give you our X factors, our predictions. Kwab, I ask you first. The Houston Rockets win this series if blank.
Houston Rockets win this series if they focus on their advantages throughout this series. And I think their main advantage is Sangoon.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to – I feel like they're going to have to run a lot of offense through him. Looking at some of the games they played against the Warriors, he's been able to do what he wanted to do. And the one thing the Warriors lack is they kind of lack his size. Yes, they have Draymond, who's a Defensive Player of the Year candidate, but Şengün being an all-star and being able to score effectively and even being just an offensive hub in terms of being able to pass and all that could effectively win them the series, I feel like. I feel like they're Amen Thompson's going to be Amen Thompson. Jalen Green's going to be consistent, not inconsistent. He's going to be consistent, but I think they need to focus on their interior offense, what they have with Şengün. What do you think? How do you think the Rockets win this series?
I think the Rockets win this series. This is going to sound reductive, but I'll expand on it. I think the Rockets win this series if they hit threes, and I know that's like what everybody does in the league. So it's like, if they hit threes, they hit threes. But the Rockets, they're one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the league. But
Wait. Not when we watch them.
No. When we watch, I don't know what it is. Whenever we recap Rockets games, they shoot 40% plus. I don't know what it is.
They go
so
off.
Rocket
They
fans,
go
don't
off.
worry.
Yeah.
We'll be watching every single game in the playoffs. Advantage you.
Advantage you.
But, I mean, the truth of the matter is that our big critique of the Rockets and everybody's big critique of the Rockets is that they can't really execute in the half court. There's really not much imagination going on in the half court, which I find weird because they do have players. They do have Jalen Green. They do have Şengün who can run the offense through. They do have Fred VanVleet who can hit the three. Dylan Brooks can hit the three. And I think those players are going to need to hit three-pointers. I mean,
Jabari also.
Yeah, you're not going to out-math the Warriors, but you're going to have to come close. You're going to have to at least not get slaughtered in the three-point department. I trust their defense to show up. I trust them to hold the Warriors to less than what they usually get because the Rockets are a better defensive team than them, and they are one of the best defensive teams in the league. It just comes down to whether or not I think Brooks is hitting the three, VanVleet is hitting the three, and they got to get something out of Jalen Green. Jalen has to be productive. He has to be. If Jalen is bad Jalen, they have no shot.
Okay. I agree with that, yeah. Who would be your X factor for this series for the Rockets? Jalen Green?
Yeah,
Okay.
Jalen Green's my X factor because I think we know what you're going to get for VanVleet. He's been here before. Same with Brooks. I think Şengün is going to have a pretty good series. I was leaning towards Jalen Green or Steven Adams because I think Steven Adams, as a big guy, could maybe dominate the boards and the paint a little bit while he's in there. Also wondering if Udoka is going to go to that lineup with him and Şengün at the same time and see how that looks against the Warriors. But for me, it's Jalen Green, man. If you can get the Jalen Green that's dropping 25 to 30 a game, he's hitting the outside shot, he's hitting the three, he's getting in the paint, he's creating for others. It's going to be very hard for the Warriors, in my opinion, to match them on the other side with the defense that the Rockets has. I think Jalen Green has to have a big series in order for the Warriors to win.
I think I was leaning towards Dylan Brooks as the X factor.
Yeah.
For one, because I know there's going to be theatrics with him and Draymond and all that. That's going to go on. But defensively, the way they've guarded the Warriors is that they make sure to switch everything and not allow Curry to get any type of space. So
the split action doesn't work against the Rockets.
Exactly, and it works against everybody else.
Yeah,
we saw it last night. Yeah, we saw it last night against the Grizzlies where Curry got a bunch of open shots. So I feel like if Dylan Brooks has been severely underrated all year, like in terms of how well he's played defensively and offensively. If he's able to guard how he's able to guard with his physical defense, because I feel like the Warriors are going to try to get Curry off of Amen Thompson, who's probably going to be his primary defender, and whoever else. So if they're switching and if Dylan Brooks is able to stay in the game, because he has to stay in the game and not pick up technicals and all that, and he's able to it's important. Like he has to be able to stay in the game and play consistently as he's been playing all year.
Yeah,
it's definitely going to help them.
All right, Kwab, finish the sentence. The Warriors win this series if blank.
Warriors win this series if they're able to execute their offense and not turn over the ball.
Yeah,
playing against a team like the Rockets, their advantage is like they're one of the best defensive teams. Even though they're so young, they've taken Ime's approach of playing physical defense and making sure they run after getting steals and stops. We just talked about how the Rockets sometimes struggle in the half court, but their best offense is when they get a stop and they go. Like with Amen, with Jalen, like even Fred, like just go and get easy buckets. Warriors have a tendency of turning over the ball at times and kind of sometimes throwing it all over the place, but not like even watching them last night. There were a couple of times I was like, "What are y'all doing?" Like in terms of the way they're moving the ball. So I feel like if they're able to run your offense, limit your turnovers throughout the course of this series, they should have a chance. Of course, they have Curry. Anytime you have Curry, you're gonna have a chance. So I think that them limiting your turnovers is gonna be a big factor.
Yeah, I would say the Warriors win this series if playoff Jimmy shows up. And they need him more now than ever. For some reason, I'm not deep in Warrior lore, or I'm not deep into like Warriors Reddit or like the back channels as to why Jonathan Kuminga isn't getting playing time, but he's not.
He's out of the rotation. He's gone.
So Kerr's not playing Kuminga, who we have always just been like, that needs to be the number 3 guy. You know what I mean? So you don't have him. I expect the Warriors to trap Curry a lot. I expect them to switch everything. Amen Thompson's going to follow him around like a maniac. Jimmy Butler's going to have to be Miami Heat Jimmy Butler, similar to what he was against Memphis in the play-in, where he's going to have to be a quasi number 1 option and score the basketball and be aggressive putting the ball in the hoop. Not the Jimmy that we saw, a lot during the regular season, even though the Warriors were playing well, where he was passing up open shots and he was a little tentative shooting the basketball. I mean, there were games where even though they won some of these games, like he shot 7 times, he shot 9 times. I don't know if you can do that with the Rockets planning to take away Steph Curry in the way that they're planning on taking him away, and Kuminga on the bench. You can have a night with Pods having 25. Like, your role players can win you a game, but to win you a series in the way that I think the Rockets are going to guard Curry, and I don't think they're going to shut Curry down. It's not going to be anything like it was the last game where he was like 1 for whatever. Curry's going to get his at some point, but I think he's going to need help from Jimmy for sure. And if Jimmy doesn't have that mentality of I need to score the basketball and be aggressive, I don't know if they're going to score enough points to keep up with the Rockets, if I'm being honest. Not that the Rockets are going to score many points on their own, but, it would turn into just an ugly 90s like type of series, and I think that favors the Rockets for sure.
So who do you think do you think Jimmy Butler's going to be the X factor for the Warriors?
100%.
Yeah. I'm the same.
If you just show me Jimmy Butler's stat line for the series, if you just said and tell me guess who wins this series, depending on what Jimmy Butler's stat line looks like, I'll be like, okay, I think I can tell you.
Yeah, I agree with that because I have him as my X factor too, just because the whole people talk about the whole playoff Jimmy thing. Like it's real to me. It's real. He's like one of the few players I've seen where it's like, oh, playoff time. Yeah, time to turn on the switch, and he changes up to become a different player. He's gonna be he's gonna need to be ultra aggressive because, like you said, Curry's gonna see a lot of the main focus on the defense. Yeah. So there's gonna be moments where he has like he did last against the Grizzlies, where he stepped up and was able to get what was around 30 points. Like that's going to be needed. That's definitely going to be needed. So he's my X factor too. Do you think Kuminga plays the series though?
He has to.
Right?
There's no way. I mean, especially if they go down.
Too. Yeah.
But then like, what kind of headspace is he in? Are you in a FU headspace? Are you in I'm going to prove myself headspace? Because I don't know how I would feel if I'm being honest with you. Like if I thought that I should start and someone, just so happened to start in front of me who I knew I should be starting over and I didn't get playing time because of that person.
Wow, we are having flashbacks to college. We're having flashbacks to college basketball.
If I thought that I,
Hey, man. Hey, bro.
If I thought, significant,
If you thought like, hey, man, I can play in this starting lineup. Right. I don't know why I'm not in this lineup.
But in that case, I had the best weekend. I think that was the best basketball I've ever played in my life that weekend.
Hilarious weekend. Hilarious weekend.
I was like, what are we talking about here?
Hilarious weekend. Oh, but
what are we
talking about? We're talking about Kuminga.
But with Kuminga, I don't know. I don't know what headspace he's in. That's my whole point. I don't know what headspace he's in. To me, I think an interesting thing with this series is like I think both teams are going to play a lot of zone.
Okay.
At some point because the Rockets they went zone a lot in the second half of the season. Even though I think Udoka loves it too much and goes to it too much, and I think the Rockets should be very comfortable with how they guard teams straight up man to man. You know, I think teams are going to try to pick on Fred VanVleet, and that's why Udoka does it.
Is it smart to go zone against a team like the Warriors with the
I
shooting?
personally don't think it is, but I
Okay.
think Udoka's going to do it anyway. But and listen, teams should go zone. This is one of my critiques about Tibbs. Like, go zone every once in a while and switch it up for like a possession or two. But I don't think you should go for like 6 straight minutes.
Give a different look just to throw off the offense once in a while. Yeah.
Right. But also, like the Warriors going zone, I think that makes sense for a team like the Rockets, right? Like,
Yes.
make them shoot. You know, now you're taking the ball out of Şengün's hands and having him, you know what I mean? Like, you could put Şengün in the post against the zone. The Rockets have done that.
Yeah.
But it's a different type of look.
I mean, you're comfortable putting him in the high post for like the floater and the low jumper,
yeah.
but you can it kind of negates if you don't believe in your shooting. It kind of negates that. This is not an X factor question, but it kind of is at the same time. Is there a player on the Rockets that you think that this? And I think we should have asked this before in some other previews, but is there a player on the Rockets you think can win them a game in a series?
Oh, yeah.
Like, is there and who would that be for
A
you?
role player?
Like a role player that
I think the Rockets have a lot of those guys. I think
Right.
Tari Eason could start the one game in the beginning of the season when they were down 30 something to the Warriors. Tari Eason single-handedly by himself defensively.
Thank you, and that's the perfect segue because
Yeah.
Tari Eason hates the Warriors.
Yeah.
Hates the Warriors. Hates the Warriors. And I've seen a lot of Warrior fans on Twitter because we both follow Unbiased.
Yes.
Will Unbiased.
Shout out Will.
Houston. Yeah, shout out Will, man. And he said they have to exercise demons. This is one they got to do. Like they got to get through this if this is who they want to be because it's always been the Warriors have always been the team that's gotten the Rockets.
Yeah.
Of all these years, and a person like Tari Eason hates the Rockets. So I expect him to have if not a big series, like a big game where he can sway him to a victory.
I think Jabari Smith, too. Like, if he's feeling it from the outside, he's another one.
Yeah.
I think they have plenty of players who can do that. I know I mentioned Jalen Green. Jalen Green's more of a quote-unquote star or lead player, so it's not as shocking to say Jalen Green. I mean, Amen Thompson. We haven't even mentioned Amen Thompson really this whole preview. He's somebody with his own defense, and he's a triple-double threat. He's
every time,
can lead the break. If he's doing his thing, the Rockets are getting out and running, which I think they need to do. They can't get themselves in the half-court game against the Warriors. You got to get out and run, get your shots early, and make sure you score the basketball. So there are a lot of different ways in which I think the Rockets can win. All right, Kwab, close it out. Predictions. I'm going to ask you first.
You're going to ask me first? I was going to ask you.
You want me to go first?
You go first because this is one of the tougher ones for me. Like, okay. I've been going back and forth about this.
I have too. I'm going to go Rockets in 6.
Ooh, nice.
I don't think they win a game 7. That's why I say 6.
You swayed me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You might have swayed me. Yeah.
I think it hits the ear weird for people who've been watching the NBA. Like, oh, Rockets are going to beat the Warriors. Like, it doesn't sound right. It's like, I don't know. What are you talking about? Yeah. But I legitimately think that this Rocket matches up very well with this Warriors team. I don't think they're going to shut down Curry like they did last game, but I do think they're going to give him fits. He is hurt on his hand. I think that's going to be a little bit of a factor. I do think Jimmy's going to have a good series, but I don't think it's going to be good enough. I think Kuminga not playing is going to be huge. Like, I think that's a huge mistake. I don't know what Steve's doing.
Maybe he changes his mind and plays him.
Maybe he does. I don't know.
Maybe,
I have no idea, but I think that's huge. And I think they're going to just do enough on offense. I think they have just enough offensive talent. And the Warriors, I just don't trust them offensively, which is a weird thing to say for a team that has Steph Curry. But I don't trust them offensively against this Rockets team. I think they win in 6.
Yeah, I was gonna go Rockets in 7 until you made that point. Like, I might have to go Rockets in 6 too. Yeah, it might feel like we're being biased to the Rockets, but we have watched a lot of Rockets games.
Yeah,
and like the way they play defense when you're locked in, the way they're able to get out on the break, the way Jalen Green has been playing consistently throughout this course of the season. Same with Şengün has been playing all-star level. Amen Thompson been ridiculous the whole time. I feel like they should have enough to beat the Warriors. Again, it's it could get kind of scary when you're playing a team like that has Curry on it.
Yeah, series to me, if I'm being honest with you.
Same, and I'm more leaning towards the Rockets, but I've been leaning towards the Rockets the whole time, and I'm like, I wanted to go 7. I really wanted to go 7, but you saying how you don't know if they can beat them.
Well, it's
I'm
up to,
like,
what do you think, Kwab? Don't listen to me.
I'm going. I'm with you now. I'm Rockets in 6.
All right, there we go.
I'm cheating off your paper. I'm cheating off your paper, bro.
Yeah. All right, well, that's gonna do it. I'm looking. This is probably the series outside the Knicks series I'm looking most forward to.
This is the only series I'm looking forward to, not the Knicks series. I'm not looking forward to the Knicks series.
Actually,
Yeah.
the whole West. I think I'm looking
Whole
forward
West,
to.
yeah.
Whatever. If you want to let us know what you think, drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know who you got and how many games. You can follow us everywhere at the Dime NBA. I'm Josh Rodriguez at Josh_Rodriguez_. He's Kwab at Kwab AKS. We'll see you for another prediction of the Dime. Playoffs start soon. Peace.
Peace.